बात तुम्ही मला 18च्या 18 उमेदवार निवडून दिले ना, मी तुम्हाला सांगितलेलं सगळं द्यायला तयार आहे. पण तुम्ही तिथं काट मारली का मी पण काट मारणार. तुमच्या हातात मत द्यायचंय, माझ्या हातात निधी द्यायचंय. मग बघा काय ते.
The case of Finance Minister, Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar, who is directly threatening. It indicates how democratic process can be managed in extremely undemocratic ways. Look at the pathetic condition of our cities and rural areas, and you are fighting for those areas with vulgar display of money and power. The Election Commission doesn't seem to exist at all, or it may be only on paper, Now the Deputy Chief Minister telling voters, you have votes, I have money. CAG is silent, Election Commission is silent. So we are experiencing democracy of silence.
The West Side Story today, we look at the ongoing local bodies elections. The process have already started. The first phase of the election for the municipal councils and panchayats are going to take place on December 2nd. The results are on December 3. As far as the elections for municipal corporations are concerned and Zilla Parishads are concerned, the dates are likely to be announced later, depending on the hearing of the Supreme Court, which is tomorrow, regarding the OBC reservation. Now, Girish, even before the polling for these municipal council elections, the results for 100 are out.
Yeah.
And the BJP's already started celebrating. The BJP state president Ravindra Chauhan, the chief minister Devendra Fadnavis, and all the leaders, they are now claiming that they have already bagged 100 such candidates which without any contest. It's unopposed. Now, given any other time, these local bodies elections would not have created such a hue and cry or hype. But in the times that we are and the kind of politics we are witnessing, that has seen a transitional change, good or bad, we are not into it. The issue is, what does it indicate? Uncontested 100 seats and the opposition not even showing their presence there.
Well, I mean, if you look at the process in its entirety, it indicates how democratic process can be managed in extremely undemocratic ways, First thing is about getting so many of them elected unopposed. So it's not just a coincidence, most of them are directly related to top politicians in the ruling party. So when ruling party members get or their relatives or their friends or associates get elected in municipal bodies unopposed, so it sends out a very large message, like there is no opposition. Number one. Number two, and the kind of power being displayed and used by the ruling alliance, this is unprecedented. This is like the elections are being fought, it's like a parliament or assembly elections. I mean, look at the pathetic condition of our cities and rural areas, and you are fighting for those areas with vulgar display of money and power. So what does it suggest? That's an issue actually.
You brought two very important points now here. One is the issue of dynasty, which is a subject which was raised since L.K. Advani and Atal Bihari Vajpayee's times. The BJP already took a very high moral standing, saying that when it comes to dynasty, we will fight tooth and nail, and more so in the regime of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Amit Shah as a Union Home Minister, as well as the party president former. Now, does it give a moral standing to BJP? I mean, though the explanation will be these are all local bodies, it's not about the assembly elections or the parliament elections.
Actually, BJP should once and for all bury this issue of this dynastic politics, So this tool is used just to beat Congress because of the Gandhi connection. But at every level, right from Konkan to Vidarbha to Marathwada to Western Maharashtra, the current election is filled with cronies and relatives and direct descendants of ruling alliance members, So, I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, you preach and you don't practice at all, And it's not only on this, we can cite at least hundreds of examples, It may be right from GST to giving autonomy to CBI to nationalized banks. Every topic, whatever BJP talked about, when they get a chance to rule, they change their position on that. So the same thing is it can be seen in local elections also. I mean, the sons and daughters and grandsons and granddaughters of all political parties, and especially of the ruling alliance, and they are in the fray, and most of them getting elected unopposed. It doesn't say good about electoral process, and more so about the invisible entity called election commission. I mean, I don't see. This is like I mean, what Hindi or Bollywood movies used to showcase police, non-existent in 60s and 70s. That exactly is happening now. Election Commission doesn't seem to exist at all, or it may be only on paper, because the way elections are being fought, the promises are kind of basically threats also to voters, So, yeah, I mean, that's what it is today.
So here the question is about sanctity, the whole thing about the institution, if you're talking about whether it's the smallest local body or we're talking about parliament. Now, the whole question is this election process, of course, there's nothing very, in black and white to substantiate. So we will leave it at that. The question here is,
no, but there we can substantiate. Yeah. Take for example the case of Finance Minister, Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar, who is directly threatening. Earlier it was I think Narayan Rane's son, Nitesh Rane doing that. Now the Deputy Chief Minister telling voters, you have votes, I have money.
Yes.
If I don't get votes, you will not get money. I mean, what is this? I mean, if this is not violation of the code of conduct, then there is nothing, So Biharization of the election process, it's not very far.
Yeah, this one point I wanted to draw your attention to. I mean, also the reason why we are discussing local body election right now is in this entire campaign, and even before the onset of the campaign, if you look at the administrative functioning of the Mahayuti, they systematically ensured the release of the development funds. I think it was inclined more towards the members of the ruling alliance,
correct,
and they had their own reasons to justify saying it mattered. It was released because of certain projects in that region.
Correct.
But if you look at the statement that emerged after that, even whether it's from Nitesh Rane of BJP minister or Deputy Chief Minister and Finance Minister Ajit Pawar, who in Malegaon goes and says that you have votes and I have funds. If you cross me, then I will cross you. I mean, what kind of language is this?
Yeah,
what kind of what kind of threat is it? And why is an experienced person like him using this kind of...
See, they're completely emboldened by the absence of election commission. There is no threat of any action being taken from any of the constitutional bodies and authorities, because opposition is lame duck, as good as non-existent, and so is election commission. Who is going to complain and who is going to take note of it, When Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis himself takes lighter view of such kind of a statement, So this is calling it a mockery of democratic process is also an understatement. I mean, you threaten voters, and what is the next statement? You will not get the development funds, number one. Number two, there is no development. There won't be any development in your area. I mean, this is my basic right? I mean, if I vote X party, Y party, doesn't matter. Development is a basic duty of the government, and it's my basic right. And it's clearly violated, getting none other than Deputy Chief Minister, and there is no one talking about it.
Yeah, just to say brazenly that, you vote the villages which don't vote. I mean, this was a statement from Nitesh Rane, and it has not come once or twice, but several times. And the Chief Minister is just defending them, or just saying that actually they did not mean that. Yesterday, his statement in Nagpur was that in elections time, campaign time, we say this, but actually we don't mean it. Then why do you say the question? This
No,
can't be the
this can't be the
defense.
justification. Definitely,
Basically,
it can't be the
yes.
justification.
Yes.
So then call it an. I mean, afterwards they can call it an election jumla. I mean,
Yeah.
we have the past experience of
Yeah.
describing whatever election promises. But in the first place, the attitude itself is wrong.
Right.
See, so election is expected to be a race among equals, but at the outset, it's not. Because ruling party has control over the exchequer and they can distribute whatever they want. So they already have a kind of a major head start as compared to the opposition. And over and above that, you bluntly say that will not get any development related funds. This is I mean, it's really sad. And
I think what's happening now, earlier they used to make promises, that if you vote certain party or if you vote certain candidate, then this is our vision, this is what we plan to bring it to your thing. Now they have gone a step, ahead, I don't know, behind what to say, saying that if you vote us, then we will flood you with the funds. I mean, this was a statement from Dilip Valse Patil, who is another senior NCP minister. In his own constituency, Mansar, in Junnar Taluka, in Pune district, he's saying that I'll flood you with funds. I mean, what kind of... And why is Election Commission not suo-moting, kind of taking a thing about code of conduct?
This is the serious tragedy. It's pervert. I mean, you are weaponizing my right to get development. I mean, you have control as being part of the government over decision making, the planning and allocation and fund, but the discretionary powers government has, and these are not mere threats. Look at what do you call defections last 5 years. Almost all defections. There are only just two reasons. One is central agencies on their back, or this fund development related funds. I mean, people won't get elected because government is sitting on their right to get funds, and eventually they will have to be part of the treasury benches. So that's why I said what I said. I mean, it's a most undemocratically handled democratic process.
So would you say this is a pressure tactic, or I mean, to use a harsher word, political blackmail?
It is.
The ruling party is kind of exerting the ruling alliance, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, see, in the first place, if you look at the history of the so-called development fund, it was started, if I remember correctly, during Atal Bihari Vajpayee's time. Ram Naik was the one who initiated this process that every MP and MLA should get certain amount of money. That is for their constituent development.
Yeah.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Government budget is there for that, I mean, you have to have the planning and system in place for the development. Over and above that, you are allocating a certain amount.
And it's a huge amount,
It's a huge amount.
You started with, say, 50,000 something, but now it's like 5
crores.
5 crores.
5 crores.
And, multiplied by 288 plus council 73. I mean, it comes to huge...
And when state is bankrupt,
huge mega projects in this amount,
Correct. And there is no social audit of that fund. That's all the more dangerous. I mean, giving fund for certain allocation, for certain purposes, it's no problem. You give that, but then tell us what happened to that fund. So for so many years, this much money is being allocated to these MPs and MLAs. What happens? What are they using for? I mean, there is no CAG coming down heavily like what it used to happen during Manmohan Singh's time,
Absolutely.
So CAG is silent, Election Commission is silent. So we are experiencing democracy of silence, and now this kind of statement. And the I mean, the real danger is it setting a precedence,
Yeah.
So whoever gets, I mean, it's difficult to dislodge with this kind of attitude of the Election Commission and the pressure power tactics, It's difficult to dislodge any government. But even assuming they get dislodged, the incumbent then will follow the same tactic.
Same tactics,
So because you have set rules for this game, and that is the long-term danger we are experiencing.
If just to give an example, I think in Mahavikas Aghadi also, that was one of the charges made by the then undivided Shiv Sena, that Ajit Pawar, finance minister, used to allocate more funds to his MLAs. And now we are seeing it in this government also. Another issue that actually struck me is basically we've covered elections for so long, but when it comes to this local bodies elections at this level, the kind of bitterness we see at political level, the kind of competition we see, now where is it leading to? I mean, of course, there should be a process, there should be campaign, we're not against that, but look at the list of 40 star campaigners in each party, and right, all the top leadership from center to state. I mean, hopefully, I don't think Prime Minister and Amit Shah are going to campaign here, but what I'm suggesting is, how can it get that kind of, what's the reason behind it? I mean,
see, the reason, I mean, if you have to connect it with the larger game plan, is from panchayat to parliament, only one party rule should rule, you know, and the whole effort is in that direction. I mean, why top ministers and top politicians should go down to Nagarpalika level to campaign for those? I mean, it's beneath them. It should be, you know. Even, see, journalists like you and me with certain seniority won't go to report those things, you know. But these guys don't mind going to ward level to campaign for those small elections. So this shows, you know, I mean, how the whole idea is to control the system, right, from bottom to the top, you know. And that's how this kind of power tactic and the pressure tactic is being deployed. Huge machinery. I had never seen such kind of the state machinery getting geared up for so small elections, you know, and now entire Maharashtra is witnessing that.
I think this statement of Amit Shah when he came here for BJP's party Bhumi Pujan stone laying ceremony, where he said that the opposition should be completely wiped out. That one statement, I think the BJP is heading towards that. I mean, they're just carrying the instructions from him, looks like. And the second statement, he said that the triple engine sarkar. Now, that was not so much for the three parties coalition, but as much as that local bodies election. So you have to, at any cost, ensure that you win all the local bodies. Now, Girish, does it make any sense that unless you have a very strong, their logic could be, or is rather that unless we are very strong at the grassroots, you know, and the model is also that way, you know, from booth level to the Prime Minister, everybody is in that election machinery. So their logic is that unless we consolidate ourselves at grassroots, and then we cannot imagine, you know, I mean, if you have to bring results in, say, Lok Sabha, assembly elections, corporations, without the grassroots, you cannot deliver. So in that sense, maybe that is a reason why they are kind of...
No, I think wishing that kind of a strength is no problem. But demolishing opposition to that extent is certainly a problem, you know. And another point which I always look at such kind of statement, okay, done. You have completely wiped out or demolished or removed opposition. What next? What are you going to do with such kind of huge animal no one has seen, you know? That blueprint, I don't see it's happening. You control Delhi. I mean, take for example, the recent issue, what they tried to do with Chandigarh also. So that's fine. Political ambitions are okay, but having succeeded, having successful in fulfilling those ambitions, what is next? That answer we don't have. We still have basic issues like say, for example, Delhi. I mean, look at the air quality.
Basics are not being
basics. I mean, there is everything is missing on the basic. But I mean, the top. I mean, political success is fine, but it is not making any big change on the ground. And not even forget change. Even the beginning of change also, the process also hasn't begun. Like for example, in Maharashtra or any other state one can look at, you know. So that is the problem, you know. I mean, I control everything. Where it is leading,
you mentioned
no
about Chandigarh. I mean, of course, it's still in that experimental stage. But there's also been this talk about Mumbai, you know, whether it should be a union territory, whether it should be autonomous, independent. I mean, this is a debate we have seen since the Samyukta Maharashtra movement, actually. So, I'm just, I mean, just a loud thinking, basically. Do you think that it would be some kind of a plan ahead if they continue?
See, I mean, what is this? It's a popular idiom in English. It's a testing the waters.
Yeah.
I mean, had they been successful in having Chandigarh under their complete control, who knows what next? I mean, it's difficult to rule out that there is nothing, or it's just a innocent attempt.
Yeah.
No. I mean, the way Jammu and Kashmir was divided.
Yeah.
I mean, Article 370 abrogation is no problem.
No
That one can understand. But the way you
Splitting of the
without having state assembly in the session, there is no demand from the state. Number one, and even after that, you have failed to give any statehood to Jammu and Kashmir. I mean, the full-fledged state
status, basically.
Status and Ladakh also.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, the obsession for fixing things which aren't broken, it's amazing. There is no need for Chandigarh thing.
Yeah.
Why tinker with Chandigarh? I mean, it has a very violent past. And eventually they had to withdraw that, or at least to say that they are withdrawing it. So next, who knows? Mumbai, because Mumbai, there is an history. In 1956 and before that, Dar Commission report that said Mumbai could be under central administration. So you never know.
And also it's a financial capital,
yes.
And there could be many reasons for them to justify in that sense.
Correct.
But ultimately, what it comes to, though you want power, I mean, this bulldozing of this politics of bulldozing your way, in the name of democracy, in the name of whatever words they come, and autonomy or whatever. But the point is here, the basics are not being addressed, whether it's administrative kind of functioning. I mean, we are not seeing the fundamental changes even now at the end of 10 months of Fadnavis government. Though his intentions may be very good, and maybe for whatever reasons it's not being seen. And the secondly is the kind of compromises. This was the same BJP which talked about very high morals. And when it
Lakshmi Darshan,
Gandhiji, I mean, they said, Congress gets elected successive elections because of Lakshmi Darshan. I think that Nitin Gadkari's favorite catchphrase. So do you feel that opposition also has some way completely failed to kind of raise its voice the way it should
I agree. Opposition is nowhere on the scene. There can't be any better opportunity than this one in the situation we are in. And what I find scary from the democracy's survival point of view is that the way government machinery is deployed to neutralize opposition, and most of the opposition leaders, they have past experience of ruling, so there are small or big skeletons in their own cupboards, and that threat is completely making them silent. They're just not able to do anything. And now, when cities are on the block, there are no city units. There are no. Shiv Sena was the one. It was known for City Connect, It is nowhere in the picture. It's split. One half is with the BJP. Similarly, its NCP has a very strong hold in rural Maharashtra, but that's also divided. And Congress it's nowhere in the picture at all. So that's a pathetic situation. So it's not like devil in the deep sea. It's even worse than that,
So you feel this elections, the local bodies, I mean, this is just what we're seeing in the first phase, but when it comes to Zilla Parishad, when it comes to municipal corporations, 29 municipal corporations we are going to have, including BMC. Are you heading for a very, very kind of a bitter lemon?
Absolutely. It will. My only wish is that it shouldn't be any blood on streets. The way these people are fighting, as if it's life and death, it's not. It's just one of the small corporations. But the way these people are fighting, pushing every possible limit, putting every political pressure there available to them, So hopefully, as we progress, and by January end, we will have cities like Mumbai and Thane, Pune also going to polls. And only hope you can me and I was, it is peaceful, at least, the passing of coming of elections.
So we'll keep following this more closely as things unfold. For now, here we'll say thank you.
Thank you.